Hey guys, this is Steve with Orlando Collector Deviants, and we are here with the comic creator Aaron. I rode a camel and it scared me. Wroblewski, and
It
of
did
course,
actually, yeah.
behind the camera we got Trish. I got my AARP card in the mail yesterday.
Really? You have to tell everybody?
Yep.
You are a jerk.
And we got Tommy already saying hi. Hi, Tommy. So,
Hi, Tommy.
Did you like the intro there?
I did. I've not seen some of those photos in ages. Oh my god. Well, one of them was actually from my New York trip when I first met my wife, and the one with the eagle was on my honeymoon.
And that's when you also rode a camel, right?
It was, yes. Yeah, scared my wife half to death climbing on the damn thing. But yeah, it was interesting.
We got Joe. Joe saying, "What's up? How you doing, Joe?" Joe is a coworker of mine, and he's actually going on vacation as of tomorrow. He's going up to Myrtle Beach for the weekend.
Nice.
So, Joe, have a good trip. Thanks for coming on tonight.
Safe trip.
So Aaron, you got a Kickstarter going on right now.
I do.
And we're gonna make Trish work so she can tag the Kickstarter. She hates when she has to work.
These cat videos can't watch themselves.
I know, them cat.
I know, they're so cute and laughable.
Right? See, he doesn't understand.
Okay, but have you ever watched an otter video? Otters are so much cooler than kittens.
They have their own separate category. You know, you got your kittens and the cats and dancing and doing their. I've got 2 cats myself. They're crazy, literally. As soon as because I work, I live away from work. So I live away while I'm working. So every weekend I go home, and as soon as I basically go through the door, the 2 cats are running at me screaming. It's like I have to give them first before I actually get to my wife.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but see, that's like my dog. My dog does that. Trish will walk in the house before me, and my dog will push her out of the way to get to me.
Yeah.
And all I gotta do is pet him. Then he'll walk over to Trish and say, "Okay, now you can pet me."
Yep.
Pretty much.
Okay, let's see. Joe says, "Yes, can't wait. Thank you." And then, our resident friend. I don't know if you've seen him yet, Aaron. Is Boris? Boris got an AARP card. He took it from the neighbor's mailbox. So now,
Thanks, Boris, for making me feel okay about it.
What's an AARP card?
that's the old people card.
Oh. Shouldn't I have not
for making him explain it.
I'm new to this country. I don't know what it is.
Well, you can only use that excuse for so long.
So I can keep using it because of my accent. If I don't lose the accent, then I can just say I'm British. I don't know.
See,
that's perfect.
I'm going with it. It's gotten me out of a lot of trouble.
I need to develop an accent.
Yeah, just
you do whenever you talk to anybody.
Maybe by the end of the show, I'll talk like Aaron.
Yeah, you might.
Yeah,
so, Aaron, real quick, I'm going to show you Boris. This is Boris.
Cool.
He is on Monster Manor with one of our friends and colleagues, Scott Fenster and Amber Fenster. They do Monster Manor podcast every Saturday night. And he is what I'm going to say. He's the star of it. Scott, you know I love you, but Boris is the star. Boris, old people discount card. You get 20% off when you eat dinner at 3 p.m. That's AARP.
Enough, everybody. Seriously.
And then Tommy says you should know about the old people card. Okay. We started off with a bang tonight. I like this.
This is not funny.
So let's go back. Aaron, you have the Kickstarter going for Enra, or how do you pronounce that?
Enenra.
Enra. Okay. I had one N. I didn't have two N's. I didn't have that Britishness to it.
See?
Okay. Okay. Oh, what? Oh, that's you. Okay, hold on. Tommy says it's great for the people who need the AARP card.
But I'm not that old yet.
You fitty.
I don't qualify for senior discount.
You were qualifying for senior discounts when you were 30.
That's because the cashier was 12.
Welcome to America. And Boris says, and free merchant Cracker Barrel. And then Trish went over here and she hit your Kickstarter, tagged it.
Oh, thank you very much.
Oh, and Boris says merch at Cracker Barrel. Stupid autocorrect or spelling correct.
Yeah, that.
See, now at the end of the show, I'll be sounding like Boris. So Trish can sound like you. I'll sound like Boris. Okay, so let's back to your Kickstarter before we get too far off. What's it about? I know what it's kind of about, but what's it about? Tell everybody what's it about.
Each issue kind of is broken into two parts. The first part of the issue is like a glimpse into the future. So you're following like a main character as he kind of struggles through a kind of post-apocalyptic world full of, you know, various creatures and other survivors as well, which you meet later on. The main body.
This is one of the pictures of the future.
Yeah, I can't tell who he is because that'll spoil it, but you do find out later on. And with his trusted companion Sam, they kind of go around this London, kind of surviving as best they can. But the main body of each issue follows Dr. Richard Maron and his team of scientists as they discover a virus from in a aircraft which lands at Heathrow Airport. All the passengers are either dead or cocooned in like a dark, fleshy mass, and they kind of there you go. And then you kind of they're investigating and trying to stop this virus from spreading. Obviously, you know it does spread because you know the glimpses of the world at the start of each issue. But this shows you how it gets there. So that's why I wanted to show. I didn't want to just jump straight in like The Walking Dead or something like that. So you know, I wanted to show you that, but also the journey, how we get there.
Now, I got a question. Was this already in your head before last year happened, or did last year kind of help get this in your head?
I'm not sure if it helped or hindered, to be honest, because I think people are kind of sick to death of pandemics and viruses. No, this has been in my head for many years. It started off as a script for a TV series, which I was lucky enough to be picked up by an agency. And one of the agents actually kind of told me and kind of broadened my horizons and mentioned that it would be a kick-ass graphic novel. They introduced me to the artist, Ezekiel, who is fantastic. Cannot praise him enough. And we kind of hit it off pretty quickly. The first issue took forever to get going because he was actually working off the script, not an actual graphic novel script. So it was a lot of go backs of what kind of scenes he thought would, you know, or what I wanted, what he thought I wanted. So it was a bit back and forth, but then I quickly converted the rest of the issues to proper format. So it's a lot quicker now, more streamlined.
Jennifer says, sounds fascinatingly scary.
I'm hoping. Netflix, if you're listening. I've still got the scripts.
Now this is for the first book, correct?
Yeah, the first 4 issues. The first 2 issues are complete. They're finished from a previous Kickstarter. So this is mainly for 3 and 4, continuing the story, but you can still get the first 2 issues too. So yeah, it's just continuing the story, how Richard and his team struggle against the virus, how it spreads, various other characters get involved as well. So I'm really looking forward to and getting excited about hopefully continuing the story and revealing it to everybody.
So Boris says hand sanitizer definitely not going to help the folks in that book.
No.
maybe if they drink it, I don't know.
No drinking bleach either. No.
Yes, no drinking bleach, please.
That's not going to help you in this case.
Now, so this is for 3 and 4. So, and I know I asked this of everybody. Do you know how the story's going to end, or do you just kind of play it book by book?
It's all planned out. There is 16 issues total. There's 4 story arcs, I kind of like to call them. This is the first one, which is set primarily in London. The second arc takes us to Hong Kong, how the Chinese kind of deal with it, with kind of corrupt officials. And then I can't tell you what goes on in the third story arcs because that's revealing too much. But yes, I've got it all mapped out. I'm pretty much complete writing up to halfway through the third story arc. I've got the outline all written out. I'm doing individual issues. So I'm on to the part way through the second issue of the third arc.
Boris says Boris drank bleach last year. When he tooted, it smelled like Clorox.
That sounds terrible.
I don't know if that would burn or...
That would burn all the way out.
Probably burn your nose too.
Oh, yeah.
Burn going out and coming back in.
God, could you imagine burping that?
Oh, no. Okay, Boris, no drinking bleach before you come to the Olo show, okay? Because Boris is going to be at Olo show, so on March 28th, shameless plug.
Not very shameless.
Well, I got to do it. Now, you say you work away from home for all week and then come home on the weekends?
Yep. Yeah, this is my little apartment in Lowell where I live while I'm working.
Boris now has a real serious question, and then we'll go back to what I was asking. On a serious note, could this novel be turned into a mini-series?
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, pretty easily, to be honest. It's all there. I've got more information about it because obviously it was a TV series, which was an 8-episode TV series planned out. I had to cut that to death to make it into a 4-issue comic. So I've actually got an idea of showing what actually happens on the flight from when the passengers get on to when it lands and everyone, cocooned and dead, landing in Heathrow. So there's like I think about between a 6 and 8 hour journey across, so I've got that all mapped out. So I'm really hoping to maybe do that as a kind of a one-off kind of special. I'm not sure if I could do it through Kickstarter or maybe wait for the full 16 issues to be complete and then kind of go back and do it. So I'm kind of mulling that over at the moment. But yeah, there's plenty of material.
Okay. Boris says, Boris, no drink bleach before Olo, just antifreeze. Okay. Just
oh, yeah, that's fine.
Just don't leak any for the kittens. Jennifer says, oh my gosh, it's a wonder that you're alive, Boris. And then Kelsey Halsey says, hello. That's our daughter. She's at work right now, so She must be at lunch. And then Boris also says it sounds like it would be an awesome on Hulu with a new episode weekly.
Oh yeah, that
I
would.
would love that. Or Netflix. I'm a huge fan of binge watching. I'm a huge fan of all episodes in one go. Binge it all weekend. I would love that. But beggars can't be choosers. I'm open to all offers.
Yo,
Well-
Hulu, Netflix. Just saying.
Yeah.
Uh,
Amazon, HBO. They've got some good stuff.
Jennifer wants to know, do you have a Patreon?
I don't yet. No. I'm probably looking at maybe doing that sometime this year. I've got to do a lot of research on it and how to set it up and get it going.
Well, just remember, you get more money with the more clothes that come off. Okay.
Okay.
And see, and you got the accent and the clothes come off. Oh man, you'll make a killing.
Right?
I still think backers would run. I've seen mirrors. I'm not that good looking.
Jennifer says hi, Kelsey, and then Kelsey says, "Nah, waiting for the manager to sign things, but she's busy at the moment." So my daughter's just watching the show while she's at work. I won't say her name. Hey, yeah. Okay.
It's right there in black and white, but we won't say your name.
No, where she works.
Oh yeah, no.
Now I'm going to go back to my original question. Since you're gone all week, so do you work on the story when you're gone, or do you work on the story when you're home?
I primarily work it when I'm here on my own. Keeps me out of trouble. So I pretty much, as soon as I'm finished work, I crash on the sofa and do my writing while I'm watching the TV.
Could that be Netflix? Oh,
could be. I'm at the moment. I've just got off Hulu, so yeah, I swap between all of them really. What I'm currently subscribed to. Sometimes it's very hard to find something to watch, even though you are not actually watching it. In the background, it's very hard to find something slightly interesting, but not so it doesn't distract you from your writing.
I still got him.
Oh, you still got him? I lost everybody for a second. Okay. And so I don't know. Jennifer says if you start a YouTube channel with a helping mentor other writers, your Patreon and Kickstarters are supposed to grow.
Okay. I never even thought of that. That's pretty good.
Look at that.
But do you have now what comes, and I'm going to be honest, do you have the extra time to start a YouTube channel on top of what you already do?
That's the problem, is the time to do it. I barely sleep as it is, let alone doing that as well. I'll have to think about that. But then, as Netflix comes a calling, I'll have plenty of time working from home.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, see?
One can dream.
You can mentor you can mentor people from the Netflix side of it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'll do all that. As soon as Netflix come knocking at my door, I'll be like, this is what you need to do. I've got the ins.
Just remember, remember us little people that helped you.
Yep. See? Exactly. I don't know.
I don't know these people.
Hey, you know how many people I get to actually say I remember them before they were famous? They don't remember me after they're famous, but I remember them before they were famous. I have video proof.
You know famous people.
Blackmail.
Yeah, we do.
I know a few famous people, but
okay. Well, Boris has another serious question, and he wants to know: is the plot set, or do you find yourself making changes to the story every time you work on it?
Primarily, the main outline is set because I can't really deviate because there's too many things that happen in a sequence.
Plus, he's British and he can't multitask. Oh, I didn't say that.
I can multitask. Thank you very much. I've got so many projects going on, you have no idea. But on a side note, that's another thing. I do kind of getting from A to B to C, I can't. The route changes, but the main points has to kind of stick because it goes in a sequence.
Okay, Boris says Boris will remember you after he gets famous. You still owe him 75 cents. Yes, I do owe you 75 cents, Boris. And you upheld your end of the bargain. You did promote us on your segment last Saturday. And Jennifer says, I'll remember you. Both of you are the nicest couple. Well, thank you. She doesn't know me very well either.
You don't know him. He's not nice at all to me.
Now,
hence the AARP card.
Look at you save us money by having it. Look at all the money you can save us.
I have to be older than 50.
You are 50.
I have to be older than that.
Yes, you are 50 in like 3 months now.
Shut up.
So it's a precursor then.
So, Boris says he's British. Thought the accent was from New Hampshire.
No, New Hampshire. That's just
and Shrima 6 says plus free luggage from AARP.
You better stop. I know where you sleep.
Okay, just so you know, Shrima 6 is also our daughter. So she's going through her Twitch account. Because I didn't tell you, we're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch live all at the same time. So,
awesome.
we'll get people from all makes and
multitasking.
Everything. Exactly.
The easy way.
Yep. Let somebody else do it. Sorry, had to hop over to Twitch so I could have you in the background. That's fine. And Jennifer is, what is the link to your website? Trish, get the link to the website. See, she's making you work tonight.
What website? His website?
His website.
Okay.
Pause the kitties.
Pause the kitties again. Yeah.
It was dogs that time.
It was dogs? Okay. Still not otters. Okay. Now, I'm going to ask another question. So, with your story, I know, like right now, or at least the part that I read, you're in London.
Yes.
Now, and that the plane came from Hong Kong. Are the places in your books places that you've actually been, or?
Personally, no. Well, I've been to London. I've been to Heathrow a few times. I've not been to Hong Kong. I would love to go to Hong Kong. It's one of my bucket lists. It's primarily following the path of the flight. So you kind of follow each story arc is basically the passengers on, how they get to Heathrow. So the first one is arriving in London, Heathrow. As I said before, the second story arc is Hong Kong. It's where the main passengers, for that flight arrived from. So it follows those passengers, and then you find out who passenger X was, the person who infected everybody, and follow his journey back to the source, which will be the kind of story arc 3, and then the big reveal and all the big action sequences and everything are in story arc 4, which ends in a big climax. No spoilers.
With Jennifer, when she was talking about the website, she's like, in case people want to be part of your Kickstarter, if you go up earlier in the comments, Jennifer, Trish has already tagged the Kickstarter, and she will retag it about halfway through the show again. And I just wanted to put that out there for her. And Boris says, do you think after the main story is complete that you can do other stories from that, like they did with Fear the Walking Dead?
Oh yeah, there's
Well, you were just talking about the actual air flight. You want to kind of spin that?
Yeah, I can do like spin-offs because of the various characters in and around the storyline of the survivor who is going through the post-apocalyptic world with his dog Sam. He meets various characters, but they're only little glimpses. So I've tried to keep it roughly between 6 and 8 pages of the 30 pages novel issues. So each little segment is his journey, meeting people and creatures, struggling to basically struggling to survive, and then eventually the main story arc will catch up with those segments, and then basically from story arc 4 will be that continuation.
Let's see. Boom. Jennifer says, don't forget your iodine pills if you go to Japan. They are still dealing with that meltdown from 10 years ago.
Oh,
Hell,
yeah,
I've been married for 23 years. I deal with the meltdown every other day.
This is true. I don't deny it.
Jennifer loves action, and she says, cool, thanks. I think that's about the Kickstarter. Now, what does your wife think about the comic, the graphic novel?
Oh, well, she likes the art and everything. She's not really into scary stuff. She's not really into horror. That's another reason why I kind of like it on my own occasionally. It gets lonely, but I can watch horror films. I watched a really good Korean one last night. Scared the shit out of me. I'm not sure if I can swear on your show, so I'm sorry.
You can swear, yeah.
Okay, yeah, scared the shit out of me. I left the lights on. I mean, it wasn't even, it's like a B movie kind of style Korean film, but it's just that this one scene kind of really kind of got me going. I kept like staring at the ceiling, thinking about it. It's like, okay, I'll just leave the light on over there.
Been there, done that.
So now I gotta know what movie this was.
Oh, hold on, I'll find it on my trusty Xbox.
Oh,
I can't.
see,
I
used to like him.
Name. It's on Amazon Prime. I know that. So I'm getting all the advertisements in. I should get paid for this stuff.
Right?
Hey, I've been trying to say that for 2 years.
He's been trying to get a sponsor from
Total Wine and More.
Total Wine and More for a long time.
For 2 years. Because I buy all my alcohol from Total Wine and More. Speaking of which.
You should probably go and speak to him and like see if you can advertise properly on the.
Oh, I know. I'm waiting for my production manager to do that kind of stuff.
Who's that?
I don't know. I gotta find a new one.
Yeah, go ahead. Feel free.
No, I'm serious. Give me one of my ciders.
Yeah, because it was in Korean, so it's not like I could write and watch and read at the same time. So I just kind of sat and watched it, and actually was pretty good. And I can't bloody find it now. Typical.
One of the ones up on top. Yeah, one of those. Because we will drink. Talking about, I will be drinking Zombie Killer.
Oh, nice. Never heard that before.
It is a hard cider with honey and cherry.
Oh, I like ciders. Because I'm sorry I have to say this, but your beer sucks ass. Really bad.
Most of our beer does suck ass, yeah.
Really bad. I mean, I can't understand how people drink Budweiser. It's just piss left in the window. Nasty. Yeah.
Well, that's I'm from Colorado, and Coors is Colorado piss water, so
I like him a lot better now.
No, I'm pretty much onto gin and cider, really. So that's what I drink.
Well, I love my rum, and I'm going to say between Trish and Scott and Amber, they got me on the ciders. So I actually look for the different kind of ciders and what they got.
Okay, well, I found the film.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called I can't even pronounce it. Gonjiam Haunted Asylum. That's Gonjiam.
Gon.
Trisha's gonna look it up.
Yeah, it was Gon Jiam.
It came right up.
She got it.
Yeah, that's what I watched last night. It was pretty good. Quite enjoyed it.
Jennifer says that's why you have to buy German beer or Yingling, and she sells those. I thought you sold art, Jennifer.
That's the side.
If I knew she sold beer with her art, I would be at her.
She sat next to us that entire show and didn't hook us up.
No, she didn't.
Jennifer.
I know.
For shame.
You got that right.
Okay, so you got horror movies. You love horror movies. You just watched one that scared the shit out of you.
Yep.
So on the weekends when you go home,
yes.
What do you do at home besides spend time with your family?
That's pretty much it, really. Just kind of relaxing. I kind of because I work really early in the morning. I'm up at 5 for work, so I'm always awake before my wife and daughter are awake. So I'm usually watching football. Sorry, soccer. I've died inside saying that.
Get that shit right. Exactly.
No other country in the world calls it soccer. Americans have to be different.
Of course.
Football.
Haven't you realized that yet? We're all different.
Yeah, I knew that when I married them.
But you married one, so that
obviously. But yeah, I'm usually watching the football in the mornings until my wife and daughter get up, and I'm kind of usually writing while they're in bed asleep. Make breakfast, wake them up. Usually chuck a bucket of water on my daughter to get her out of bed. She's 12. 12 thinks she's 20. Usual preteen. The joys. That's pretty much it, really. Just hang out with my wife, family. We just moved into a new house, so it's kind of trying to find furniture and everything like that. It's kind of
It's going to take a year before you get your furniture.
Yeah. Well, we just ordered my daughter's bed and all that stuff. Dresses and cupboards and stuff. So that should be arriving tomorrow. Fingers crossed.
Ooh, let's hope.
Yes.
It's arriving tomorrow, and he doesn't arrive until Saturday.
No, I arrive tomorrow. Tomorrow's my day off. Well,
I was trying, man.
I'm heading home as soon as I get up in the morning.
Well, that's good.
I was tempted to try and make it home, but it was, it takes me 3.5 hours to drive home, and it was cutting it close. So I thought, just stay here for an extra night and just head home early. I'll make it home before they get up anyway. So there's no difference.
See, I feel special. Don't you feel special?
I do feel special.
He could have went home, but he stayed there just to be on the show tonight.
Just for you guys.
Aww.
So now we know why he usually cuts out early on Thursday nights. He's driving home.
He's driving home.
Yeah, every other Friday I have off.
Okay.
Because we do like a 40-hour week, but we do 44 hours. Like we work 9 hours Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then 8 hours on one of the Fridays, so we can have the next Friday off.
I want that schedule.
Yeah, it's okay unless work says, "Oh, we need you to cover the weekend." It's like, ugh. And then I have to tell the wife, "I'm working the weekend." No, you're not. You're coming home.
She's like, "I haven't seen you all week. You are coming home."
Yeah.
I'm salary. I could work 10-hour days, 9-hour days, and I still got to work on Friday.
Well, I'm currently contracting, so I do get paid overtime, which is good. But they keep
Nice.
persuading me to sign on permanently, so I don't know. You get the healthcare and everything, but I like getting paid for hours I work.
It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
So, with your comic writing, have you ever thought of just turning one of your stories into just like a novel?
I've actually written 2 novels.
Okay,
already.
so see what I just said? Rewind
Yeah.
and scratch that and say, how many novels are you going to write?
As many as I can. I've got more ideas for books and novels than I can write, really. There's just never enough time in a day. I've written a dark fantasy novel, which I'm currently querying agents for. I've written a science fiction epic kind of, which I'm also querying. I've got sequels for both of those planned. And then I've got 3 graphic novels finished, plus add-ons for them. I've just finished a samurai tale, which the artist Ezekiel for Enenra, he posted an awesome kind of commission as a samurai warrior, black and white with a bit of like red in it. It looked fantastic, and I kind of just said, well, maybe I should write a samurai tale and have you draw it. And he goes, go ahead. So I did, and I just finished the first draft, 80 pages. So it's a standalone revenge tale with a bit of horror, because why not? So I'm currently going through that to kind of adding bits, especially like the the kind of dialogue and stuff. So yeah,
So you stay hella busy.
Yeah, well, it kind of helps being on my own. Otherwise, I'd just be bored and watch Netflix all day.
Well,
anyway.
It also explains why he only has one child.
Yes,
True.
one enough. She's more than capable of filling multiple kids' roles.
Well, she just think of it as she's like one of your novels. You got a different personality every day.
Yeah, that's true.
Ooh, she could be a novel.
She could be a novel.
Ooh.
You don't know. Maybe like the sci-fi fantasy one is about her. I didn't want to say the horror one because that's just mean.
Well, that'd be probably more accurate. It's a memoir.
So, where do you come? Because since you got so much going on, where do you come up with all the ideas?
I don't really know, to be honest. It kind of sometimes it just kind of falls in. Reading other books, watching films and things. The dark fantasy novel I wrote started out watching The Village, Night Shyamalan.
M. Night Shyamalan's The Village, yeah.
Yeah, I loved that until the twist. I hated it. The twist, did not like it. So I mulled it over about how what would I write.
That's the one where they're in the olden days, and then when she escapes over the wall, it's present day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted the creatures in the forest. I wanted something. So I kind of started writing the dark fantasy novel I've written. Started out as a film script. I always thought there was more story to tell, so I kind of changed it into a novel, and now it's going to be eventually 5 books I've planned out.
Damn.
I've written the first one. I'm about 100 pages into the second one. So yeah, it's kind of outlined for 5 books, and I'm really kind of enjoying it. I even drew maps just to kind of keep me on track so I know where all the cities were. Because the idea is the village is like surrounded by thick fog, and where demons dwell. So it's basically just follows various characters in the village as they struggle to survive. When at the start, one of the farmers goes missing, and they believe the demons are coming back, and follows the very like I said, various characters as they struggle to survive. Lots of death, lots of blood, good stuff.
Well, please do me a favor, because I read a lot of books, and I just finished this trilogy, and how it ended, I was so pissed. It just because it builds you up. The first book, I'm like, oh my god, this was an awesome book. Grabbed the second one, oh my god, just so had me so drawn in that I actually picked up the third book on the day it was released. I don't usually like doing the hardcover because I like the softback, and because when you fall asleep reading the book and it hits you in the head, softcover hits you a lot easier.
Yeah, it does hurt.
But I was sitting there, and I just finished it up last night, and I was so disappointed because this is another one of those stories that it could have went on for more books.
Yeah,
and just the way she ended it, it was like, well, this happened, and goodbye. I'm like, really? You just stopped it right there. And the rest of it's, well, thank you for reading my books and this and that. And it's like, but you just stopped it right there. You gave a glimpse. The biggest glimpse was when the main character looks back at this time in her life when she's older, she sees it as a turning point. And it's like, and that's how you end the book? I want to get up to where she's old.
Yeah, I have actually got the whole outline, like I said, on this novel as well. So I know exactly the last scene, almost to the last word of the last book. Whether you like the ending, I don't know until I've written it and you've read it. So that's a long way away yet. Like I said, I've just started writing the second book, so I know I need to get them published first.
Don't get me invested in 5 books and then leave me hanging like boom. I guess we never watched Game of Thrones, but how everybody said that ending was just blah.
Yeah.
That's kind of how this book ended. It was like, it was so exciting, and then that last chapter, it was like blah. Yeah. It's like your heart wasn't in it anymore,
Well, that's why I'm hoping, if I do find fingers crossed, an agent and editors and things like that, they'll mention that, if they feel, the ending is, not right, because one of the beta readers for, the first book said you need to add a bit more, because I leave it on a cliffhanger for obviously to follow the next one. And he says it's too much of a cliffhanger. You need to kind of add a bit to appease the readers. So, I added a few extra scenes on top of that of the various characters. So, it's mainly I'm always about feedback. If there's something missing from the story, or adds anything or take something away, because like the science fiction novel I wrote was 130,000 words. And one of the readers said, yeah, you need to cut that drastically, and rewrites it's down to about 112,000. So I massacred it. So it's really all about, what the feedback you get from your beta readers, from the publishers. They have, feedback give, as well. So they know markets, they know what sells. So I'm hoping, if I get an agent and fingers crossed, a publisher takes me on, then, hopefully there'll be, a lot of back and forth. Because originally that science fiction novel was supposed to be a standalone. Well, that didn't last. now I've got an idea for a sequel.
Now, have you thought about self-publishing?
I have thought about it. I'm just very, I suppose, scared, apprehensive about it, because it seems like there's a lot of work involved, and I barely have enough time as it is to do, what I love. I love writing. I don't feel comfortable. I don't about marketing, selling myself, selling the novel and everything. It just seems a lot of work, and I just don't have the time at the moment. Maybe in a couple of years when I have a few novels ready to go, I could look more into that, and then I'll be able to maybe even do the whole series, all 5 books if they're ready to go. Release one every year or something like that. So it's like a quick turnaround. Do it that way. But at the moment, I'm hoping to do traditional publishing first. Give that a good shot.
I don't blame you. I was just curious because I know we have a few author friends that do the self-publishing. So
yeah, I've got a few friends who do it as well. They all power to them. They go with it and take the plunge, and I think maybe one day I will think, I've given traditional publishing, chances and rechances and more chances, and maybe self-publishing eventually will be, what my path leads. But at the moment, like I said, I just don't have the time with working, writing my other novel. So it's.
Yeah, well, I don't blame you. I was just asking because I don't know anything about it except for I read books. So I just figured the fastest way you can get it into my hands, the happier I am. So now, who do you read the most?
I'm actually reading Dune at the moment because the new film's coming out. So I've always wanted to read the book, but I've always kind of put it off because it's so big. I really did not realize it was so big.
It's only like that thick, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm currently reading that. Hopefully finish it before the new film comes out, but I doubt it. I really like fantasy, science fiction. They're kind of my genre. Because I obviously recently got into graphic novels. I'm nowhere near as experienced as some of the guys you've had on. So I'm still learning that. Some great creators have kindly given us some extra issues to kind of boost my Kickstarter. So I've been reading them as well, and they've been brilliant. It's really it's been an eye opener with all the different Kickstarters, and some of them have been brilliant. So I'm really looking forward to reading them.
Well, like I was telling you before the show, I just received Martin Piero's from Cosmic Times, his last Kickstarter. And
his movie coming out too with the dinosaurs looks pretty cool.
And Martin, I know if you're not listening to it tonight, you'll listen to it tomorrow. But Roland really beat you because like yours came a week after Roland's.
Yeah.
They had a gentleman's bet, and Roland, because they both ended their last Kickstarter on the same day, so they had to bet who would get it out first. And Roland had it out to me a week ago. So, and I'm going to say Roland had it to me so fast because you know how they always say, "Hey, your stuff's out for delivery." Okay, this is so and so from Silver Lion, and we've sent out your backing, and I had it the day before the email came in.
That's good.
It was like that was fast.
Yeah.
Okay. Jennifer said a couple things. They did the same thing with Lost, the TV show, where they just ended it badly. I mean,
yeah, I really liked Lost at the start, kind of lost interest once they kind of left the island. That I kind of got lost interest in that, so I never really found out how it ended. So,
and she wants to know: will you be doing any cons this year?
I would love to, but with COVID, I'm not sure if they're opening up. I know a lot of the states are reopening, so I'll have to keep an eye out. At the moment, no, but I would if obviously the Kickstarter is successful and I'll be able to have more material. I would definitely love to go to one or two.
Well, there's one on the end of this month in a state that's halfway open, so
I probably have to pop down just to have a look because I've never been to one. You see, so I'm a big V in the Comic-Con kind of.
Oh, we definitely got to get you into that because here in Florida, there's like two different ones this weekend coming up.
All right, cool.
Collective Con and Super Retro Con. So one's in Jacksonville, one's in Orlando, and then you got Lou Ferrigno all over the state signing books or signing stuff, and then Sam Johnson, Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
And this really cool show on the 28th.
Well, that's what I just told him. I said there's a show at the end of the month on the 28th that's going on.
Yeah, no, this really cool show.
The really cool show?
Yeah.
On the 28th of March?
On the 28th of March in Orlando.
And what would that show be?
That one?
That one?
That would be that show.
Oh, okay, that show. Okay. Sorry, we got to plug it whenever. I got partners that get, they kind of whip us if we don't have that stuff being promoted.
They wouldn't want that. Unless
There's
you're
one
into
guy
that.
really mean.
Yeah,
The short one. Oh wait, they're both
short. We don't want to upset the con father.
Oh no.
And he's probably lurking in the background. So
Probably, he usually is.
He's usually lurking on behind the show. That's why we love you, Tom. And if we made you mad, it was all Trisha's fault.
It probably was.
Oh, I'm pointing towards Trish and it's going towards Aaron. So it's all Aaron's fault. Oh, Boris is back. If he's in England, there's Turnip Con next week in the Old Country, March 26th, 7th, and 8th. Bring your own tubers.
I'd love to go back to the UK. I've not been back for like 2.5 years, so it'd be nice to see my mum and dad. But hopefully they'll come and visit this year or next year. That'd be nice.
When they can fly again?
Yes. But they've had their vaccine, so yes.
That's good.
So what made you, besides being married, what made you move here?
Work. I used to work for the oil and gas industry in Scotland, and not that long ago there was a big crash in the market, where I think barrels of crude were selling to like $28 or something like that, and where it was originally like 130. And unfortunately, our company had a massive cull of the workforce, like 65% were let go, and unfortunately I was one of them. And I kind of applied on Indeed.com. Didn't think I was going to get it because the job was in Washington State. I got it. Fun enough, they actually called me on my birthday to offer me the job. So that was funny.
Awesome. Nice.
Yeah, that was a nice birthday present. And got my green card through my wife because she's American. So that was an easy way of doing it. And then came over.
Sure, that's what they all say.
Yeah, it lasted about 18 months. And then the Boeing fiasco. COVID was a nail in the coffin. So the company in Washington State had to let me go. So then we had to do a nice family road trip across the states to Kentucky, where my wife is originally from. during the COVID, so that was fun. But luckily, I found.
Go ahead.
Well, luckily, I found this job. Within like a month after arriving in Kentucky. So I have to say I've been one of the very fortunate during the pandemic. So I'm very fortunate.
I would say you get a job, you get to move across country, and then you get to be away from your family for a week, only see them on the weekend. I remember those days. I love those.
Me too.
I don't know. So some weeks you get a bit down, being on your own. It gets to you after a while, especially if you work here, because sometimes if they need cover over the weekend, I'm here for like 2 weeks. And then I got snowed in not long ago when they had the big snowstorm. So that was fun.
Jennifer says, I think he says he's in Louisville, Kentucky, Boris. And Boris says, there's also CartCon in the Villages in April. You get ticket and weird old person drives you around in their golf cart where they try to get you to come to their house. That's the Villages is the senior community. Trish knows it very well. That's part of the AARP card thing.
Okay. Does she get the email as soon as she gets the card?
Pineapples.
He wants to know if you got the email that you got the card.
I didn't get the card.
You got the card. I'm the one who got the mail. The card is enclosed.
Just haven't opened it yet.
Here, let me see.
No,
Look,
I have not opened it yet.
Look, I gotta block out our name or our address.
We don't need Boris coming to our house.
But it says ARP card enclosed. Please do not bend. So the card is in there.
I swear to God, Devin, if you're listening, don't you dare.
Oh, Devin, I'm going to text you tomorrow just for this. So now I heard you say you had an Xbox.
Yeah.
We won't hold that against you. So do you play, or do you just use it to watch movies?
I play. I play the Division 2. I'm also playing the Cyberpunk 2077 at the moment.
Okay.
I'm kind of waiting for the other games to come out. There's a survival game I'm kind of looking forward to. Was it the day before, something like that? It looks very similar to the Last of Us kind of Division kind of crossover, which I'm looking forward to seeing how it plays out.
Now, this is one of the cards in her ARP. Welcome to the 50s Club, and you get a free insulated trunk organizer.
I kind of like the trunk organizer.
But see, that's because you're old.
I got a lot of junk in my trunk in more ways than one.
Jennifer says Louisville has a con, but not sure. I know when. We could probably ask Roland next weekend, because Roland knows all the cons out that way. He's kind of redneck.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm kind of.
She's all. You should see. It just took her a minute to realize I said Roland's a little redneck. So.
Yeah, I am looking forward to doing cons. At the moment, I'm probably going to wait because I don't want to take the risk with COVID. Bringing it back to family, because unfortunately my daughter can't have the vaccine. So she's one of the susceptible to any viruses and things like that. So I kind of have to keep my head down because I've already had it and it was not very nice. So I do not want to bring it home.
Oh yeah, no, never want to bring that kind of stuff home.
Yeah.
Boris says Boris Shakedown Finsterburger for your address. Okay, you can. I don't even think he knows where exactly we live.
There's only a select few people that know where we live.
Yep. And we do that for a reason. That way Boris can. Well, because if Boris knew, I'd lose half my stuff in my house.
Right.
Because I don't have enough chains to chain it all down. So, do you collect anything? Are you a collector? You collect anything? You play video games, so you got to collect something.
Not really.
Come
you know,
on, you're young.
When I'm playing the game, as soon as it's complete and it's finished, I'm on to the next one. So I don't really collect them. Collections, I don't really collect anything, to be honest. I'm very boring that way. Man, no, I'll probably start collecting graphic novels now because I'm getting all those stuff all from other creators. So I'll start. That could be my new collections.
Well, you have a 12-year-old, so you got to collect something along with her.
She's so obsessed with anime at the moment. It is unreal. So I like it, not to her level. I'm like on this level. She is. Yeah, all her quotes are from anime. Most of them I've never heard of or seen. So,
okay. Now you say you like anime. What anime do you like?
I'm liking what's the one I'm watching at the moment? I've been like resurrected as a slime. I'm watching that.
Okay.
I'm watching ReZero. Is that how you pronounce it? Where he comes back, he keeps coming back from the dead. I love that. It's brilliant. I go back and watch Gate. I love that. I was really hoping they were going to continue it because the Xenomorphs come into it supposedly. That would be awesome. You know, all the old school I kind of rewatch. Akira, Ghost in the Shell, the originals, not the new ones they've done because even the one on Netflix sucked. I mean, the animation was just bad. I just couldn't get into it. This 3D animation is terrible.
You're into anime more than you think you are.
Yeah, but I'm old school. She's like watches stuff and then starts quoting it. I don't do that much.
Well, see, I asked you because I did see on your page that Akira picture.
No, that's Princess Mononoke.
Book page.
Yes. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah,
okay.
The one with the wolf.
So sorry, I got mine messed up. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that film.
See,
always wanted to do a sequel to it, but it never happened.
See, he called me out. I flipped my anime around. I do that. I flip my anime. Now, Cowboy Bebop is good, and Space Battleship Yamamoto is good to binge.
Yep.
Cowboy Bebop is great. One of my favorites.
I know. I'm excited and cautious about the Netflix series they're doing.
Yeah.
It could go both ways. I loved was it Altered Carbon? That science fiction series. Loved it. Brilliant. So if they do it kind of that way, I could see it being really good. But you know, it's Netflix. It's sometimes they're great, sometimes they're not.
Yeah, I mean, but we still watch them.
Oh yeah.
And see, I know if me and my daughter know if anime is good because Trish hates anime, and if we catch her laughing or chuckling or getting into it, we know it's good because it's caught her attention. Now she's watching it.
Yeah.
But she also likes some weird ones like Food Wars. Oh, yeah.
I like Food Wars. That one's awesome.
But we liked it before it became famous. Before Toonami took it.
And what's that one? The where the world's falling apart or whatever.
Oh, Japan sinks 2020.
Yeah.
If you get a chance on Netflix, Japan sinks 2020. It's not your typical, anime. It's actually really good storyline on it.
Okay. Yeah, I sometimes like the films that do like was it a Silent Voice? That was a really good one. That was brilliant the way they did that. Which I don't think they could do as an actual like live action film. Sometimes I think films should just stay anime, like Ghost in the Shell. Don't make it live action.
I still haven't even watched it because I know it's not. I knew from get go it was not going to be any good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of disappointed that didn't just follow the originals. Like follow, even with the new series they keep doing, just go back to the original and make a sequel series, from when they finished and go forward. But they just seem to kind of reboot it all the time. It's all about reboots and.
Oh yeah, let's see how we can change it. And it's like it was good to begin with. Don't change it.
Yeah. If it's not broke, don't fix it.
So Boris says, if you like a space western comedy, Trigun is worth a look. Trigun is pretty good.
Yeah, it's quite funny, that one. I like that one. Like what was it? Samurai Champloo? I can't think.
Oh yeah, Samurai Champloo.
Yeah, Hip Hop Samurai. That was a really good series. Though it seemed to end kind of, I don't know, prematurely. I always thought they'd continue it, but they never did.
Well, that's one of the things. Like a lot of these anime in Asia and everything, they end years before we even see the first season.
Yeah.
And we get into it. It's like, oh my god, and then you find out, oh, there was only 2 seasons. Nobody liked it. It's like,
yeah. Well, it's usually to boost the sales of the comics. So they'll do one series, get everyone hyped up about it, so they buy the comics. That's why there was a series I loved, Grimgar Ash. Was it Fire and Ash? It's like a kind of different take of like people being brought to another world from ours, but they don't have no memory of the previous life. Yet they still kind of use our language. Like they mention a mobile phone, but not know what it is. And I kind of liked that it's a different take on this, alternate world where there's magic and things like that, and they're not overpowered like all these characters are. And I was really hoping season 2, but that was like probably 5 years ago now. I watched it and still nothing. So it's frustrating when you get into these characters in these series and then it just peats away after the first season.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll ask my daughter and my son when I start getting into an anime. I'm like, is this still going on or is it done? Because I don't want to get invested if it's only like 1 season and it's done.
Yeah. I've probably lost count of how many times that's happened, but I still enjoy it, still watch it. So take the rough with the smooth.
I'm trying to find one. It's a Netflix original that I started watching it and ended up loving. It's kind of a Western one where his car turns into like a huge ass buffalo if he puts in a coin.
Oh yeah, with the robot. I can't remember what it's called. It's because doesn't he have like tattoos when he dies or something like that?
Yeah, he every time he dies, he comes back to life with a new number on him.
Yeah, I
like
the first episode. I couldn't get into it.
Well, see, it's one of those that I give everything 4 episodes. If I can't get into it by the 4th episode, I'll shut it off.
Yeah.
And because I've had to do that because there's so many things I've shut off on the first one and then gone back and watched that. It's like, oh, it actually got better. But I actually, I binged that one like I said, with the guy who died and all that, and it's like it was pretty good once you got into it and you saw what the whole storyline was about.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll go back and catch up on the other episodes. Now, the other one I've been watching, I finished watching, was Goblin Slayer. That was pretty good. If you don't mind the violence and the gore and everything else, but I like it, so it's my kind of series. I'm kind of more into the kind of mature, not always joking around kind of series.
Oh yeah, no, that's good. I'm trying to think. What was another good one? Me and the kids watched Seven Deadly Sins. We were on that before it became. Have you seen Drifting Dragons?
I haven't. It's on my list. I just haven't gone watched it yet.
Because that was a good one. Be the Beginning. And if you get a chance, because if you like the serious ones and everything, even Jen.
Yeah, Jin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen that one?
Yeah, that's good. One.
I love both seasons. I was like, oh man, I was hoping it was going to go farther than 2 seasons. Because I used to be like you, and I would travel, and I would be by myself for a week, so I could watch all this stuff without having to.
Yeah. Yeah, there's another good one on Netflix. Was it April You Lie? I can't remember its name. I think it's April Lie or something like that. I can't remember. But that one's really good. It's a bit of a tearjerker, that one. It's like a series about a piano player who doesn't like playing anymore, and he kind of goes back to it. So there's no action or anything like that. It's just like a love story kind of. It's pretty good. Another one, I can't remember the name of it. It's about an archery. I can't remember the name. I'll have to look at it. I'll have to look it up because that's a good one as well. I like that. Or the discipline of the archery and everything like that. I can't remember what it's called though. Good old trusty Xbox.
And see, I'm looking at it real quick on here because it's like I know because that one I was talking about with the cowboy, or that wouldn't die is Cannon Busters.
Oh yeah,
with the car that transforms.
Yeah, with the car that changes into a bull, like a mecha.
Yep. And then I've watched a few different ones. Boris says there's always Kishi Sumo Private Eye, a series about a sumo who solves crime in between tournaments.
There's so many though. That's the thing. There's so many different ones you can watch. Like another one is is it wrong to try and pick up a girl in the dungeon? That's another one I watch. What is another one?
Some of those names are weird.
Yeah, some of the. Oh, I even watched one called Cells at Work. It's an anime about cells in your body. Huh?
Yeah, daughter loves that one. She goes, "That's the only anime where you actually learn things."
That's what I was saying too, because they actually teach you things.
Yeah, it helped her during one of her science quizzes at school.
That's awesome.
I know that it sells.
Who says anime can't teach you anything?
I know. She was true. We couldn't really tell her that's not the case. Obviously, Sword Art Online. I watched that religiously. I love it.
What did you think of the last season?
Oh, brilliant. Awesome.
Now, Jennifer says, I wish they had made a comic series from Dark Tower. There was a gunslinger in it. Actually, Jennifer, they did. There is the Dark Tower comic series, graphic novel, comic series. So, yeah, they did do that. Now, that's comic book series. Now, if you're talking like cartoon series, that would be cool. They sucked on the movie, though. The movie sucked. oh my god, so bad.
Yeah, say it
Well,
again.
it seems Netflix seems to be doing a lot of anime at the moment. There are even supposedly rumors that they're doing an Aliens anime.
Yeah, I heard that. Well, they just put out what is that one with the kaijus?
Yeah, the Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim. They just did that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, Jennifer. If you're looking for the comic book, they did a Dark Tower series of the comic book for a few years. If you look it up, you should be able to find it probably even on Amazon and be able to get some copies. And Boris says, anime taught Boris a lot about tentacles, more than he wanted to know.
I think you're watching the wrong kind of anime.
Yeah, that's called hentai, man. That's not anime per se.
That's the weird stuff.
Not saying that a lot of anime doesn't go that way, even without it being. And Jennifer says, I saw potential. That's why I mentioned it. No, I loved the Dark Tower series. I read that whole book. I was so upset back when somebody had hit Stephen King, because if he would have passed on, we would have never finished the Dark Tower series. And it was one of those, I felt bad that he got hit and he was almost dying, but it's like I was more upset if he wouldn't have finished the storyline, because I invested many years into that.
Yeah, it's a bit like Wheel of Time. One of the biggest fantasy novels I remember reading. There's like 16 books, probably more than that. But unfortunately, the author died before the last one was finished. So his widow asked another writer to finish it, and I have to admit he did a great job. I really kind of hoped he would continue it, where they kind of ended it, kind of left it open for more. But I suppose it took a lot just to do to finish that one and complete it. So I don't dabbling in someone else's universe is I imagine very tricky.
Oh yeah, especially if you don't want to give it a bad name,
Yeah. Especially and the last one as well. That's probably even worse. Finishing someone else's legacy is very daunting. I would.
kind of like Josh Whedon and Zack Snyder.
Oh, that was terrible. Terrible. Oh, I hated that movie.
Well, I'm not a fan of Zack Snyder's either. So either way,
I like 300. That was a good film.
Okay, I'll give you that. I'm not a fan of Zack Snyder's DC universe.
See, I've kind of liked it. I've liked the different take on Superman, Batman. I loved Affleck as Batman. I have to admit, he's one of my favorites. To be honest,
I will give you. I was so worried about him being Batman, especially after we saw Daredevil a long time ago. And it's like, but I think he did a great older Bruce Wayne Batman. I have to admit, he got in. That was great. What they did with the movie with Superman vs. Batman, I don't talk about that.
I do prefer the Ultimate Edition, where it's got more the extra half hour into it. So I do prefer that. I did like the kind of flirting between Wonder Woman and Batman. I thought that was pretty cool. They, won't they? Kind of, I like that. But then they brought Josh Whedon in, and the first scene in the film is Superman with his weird ass freaking lip. I mean, it just ruined the whole film after that.
Well, see, and me, like with Superman versus there was aspects of Man of Steel I didn't like, but I could tolerate the movie. Superman versus Batman. Ben Affleck had it for me. The introduction of Wonder Woman in there, that was good. The rest of it was too hokey and Doomsday. and I know, and I've tried to pride myself or keep myself away from the comics and the movies, two separate entities, but that Doomsday was just ridiculous. That wasn't Doomsday in any form.
I quite liked him, but the trailer spoilt it. The trailer before the film came out showed Doomsday. Why? Why show him? Just have him like a noise in the background, a growl or a roar or something. Don't show him. So many times the trailers spoil the films. Why? Leave it for the audience to enjoy.
And see, it was just one of those. And of course, my biggest pet peeve is the whole Martha thing. And it's like, really?
Yeah. That
the
scene,
Martha line.
I cringe at too, to be honest. It was a bit weird. But I suppose you have to find a way to stop them fighting. Otherwise, you'll kill Superman.
Yeah, and that was another issue I had was Superman would have just took him out from afar. We wouldn't have had to worry.
Oh yeah, but that's the whole reason of Man of Steel. Man of Steel is that he doesn't kill because he killed Zod to stop him.
Exactly. But we already know that he is smarter and it is a darker Superman than what we're normally used to. He still could have crippled him without killing him from afar.
Yeah. I still think that.
And Paige, oh, don't get me wrong. I'm a whole DC person. I'm not a fan of all the movies. I don't get me wrong. I love my DC and everything. I love the Christopher Nolan Batman series, The Dark Knight. I love the Wonder Woman first movie. I'm not a fan of the second movie.
Yeah, me neither.
But and I loved Aquaman. As much as everybody said, "Oh, that was just a CGI effect," I loved it. It was a great movie for me, And where everybody's like, "That's not my Aquaman." If you follow comics, he's changed so many times throughout the years. I mean, so
all like every single character. You don't even Marvel. DC. The characters never stay static. They have to change with the times. The audience changes. The readers change, so they have to change with the times.
Oh yeah. Look at
what happened in the 1960s would never. Fly now, people would be in uproar.
It'd be canceled.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Peppy. Okay. But yeah, look at like Spider-Man. Back in the day, he was a nerd. I take this with a grain of salt. He was very smart. In the movies, they don't really show his intelligence, and that was the whole thing in the movie. Back in the day, he was he was super smart, he was a bookworm, that nobody looked at twice. And in the movies,
the original movie they had him with glands in his wrists, which I didn't like, but I do like the new ones with Tom in. He invented the web shooters. He even shot Tony Stark with it. So I think that's he is smart enough to be able to do that in this.
Yeah. But then again, I got to where we lost sight of him being smart, and Tony started making everything for him.
Yeah.
So we started going good, but then we turned to the whole daddy complex with Tony Stark, and that freaked me out too.
Yeah. Well, hopefully the next one will be will even rock even more with supposedly they're having the other Spider-Men come back too. So I'm not sure if that's true or not, because there's been a lot of counter rumors that it's not true, and So I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
We got Tommy who says, "Good evening, guys." Hey, Tommy, how you doing tonight? Hope you're doing good. Well, I heard the same thing. I hear the rumors and where they brought they finally got Toby to agree to come back because they're going to do like the whole Spider-Verse stuff going on.
Yeah, the animated one they did, Spider-Verse. I presume they're having the kind of a more grounded one. They're not going to have Spider-Pig jumping off buildings. That would be cool, though.
Well, see, now I'm going to say out of all the Marvel movies, Into the Spider-Verse, the animated one was one of the best that they've done. I didn't know how I was going to like it. I wasn't one of them that went to the movies. I saw it when it came out, and it's like, oh my God, they did so good with it.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to the sequel because I hope they bring one character. I'm not sure if they can do it. It's a bit dark. I can't remember his actual name. I'm not sure if it's just Man Spider, where when Peter is bitten by a spider, he isn't bitten by one, he's bitten by hundreds, and they all take his like mind. So he's like thousands of spiders, all like a hive mind. So they kind of mold and shift into like a human figure, all made of these thousands of spiders, and it looks cool as hell. But I don't think little kiddies will get involved in that, so I don't think they can do it.
Jennifer, I love the animated one. Miles is a great character.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Miles
is going to be in the next Spider-Man 2 because what's his name? Glover. Can't remember his name. He was in Solo.
Donald Glover.
Yeah, he's the uncle of Miles.
The Prowler.
Yes. So hopefully Miles will be in, and they'll have both Spider-Men in Marvel MCU.
But see, that's good because Miles is a great leap into the future for Spider-Man. I think they did really good on how they brought him into the universe, and it wasn't, oh, I'm just a new Spider-Man, alternate universe, another timeline, and they did great with it.
It didn't seem forced, which is good. It seemed like a natural introduction. I think that's what DC kind of they wanted. They wanted the Marvel. They wanted Avengers Assemble, but they rushed it. Instead of doing individual characters at the start like Marvel did and build towards it, they went one bang, done.
Yeah, they were trying to race Marvel.
Yeah. Ooh. So I know I think they rushed it a bit with the Batman versus Superman straight after Man of Steel. It would have been nice to have like Wonder Woman before that and Aquaman, and hope with Ben Affleck as well as Batman, and introduce him, and then lead to the Justice League.
Bring in like you said, the Cyborg movie. Let's introduce Cyborg. Because Cyborg is one of my favorite characters from the DC universe, and that his whole introduction was abysmal and everything in that movie, and what they did to the Flash, they made the Flash a joke.
Yeah, I liked the character. I like the idea of the new Flash they're doing, that Bruce Wayne builds him his suit. I like that idea. Because I think that works well. Because I know Barry Allen is smart. He doesn't necessarily have the funds to do what he needs to do. So
exactly,
with Bruce Wayne kind of backing him up with his up-teen billions of dollars, it'd be interesting to see what kind of suit, high tech could make. So I'm looking forward to seeing that with Flashpoint. That could be a pretty awesome film.
I just hope they do good on it. I know they're letting the character who actually plays Flash write the story, and he's a good actor, but hopefully he can write a good movie.
I think he's written before, so fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Give him a chance.
It's one. I'll give him a chance, but like I said, what I hated in the Justice League movie is every time he started doing something cool, they made him trip, and it's like, really, the Flash doesn't trip this much.
Yeah.
And yes, even in the comics, he does bring the comic relief, but he's not an idiot doing it,
Yeah. Well, I always liked him in the animated DC movies. Especially the new ones they've done, because they've created a really amazing universe within all the animated. What's it, Justice League War and all those
Dark Side War.
Yeah. They're brilliant.
And see, and I've always said DC has the animated market locked down. Marvel can't touch that animated market, but DC can't hold a candle to Marvel's movies
because they're not patient enough. That's the problem. If they had the patience and write decent films, like Shazam wasn't terrible. I quite enjoyed that.
Oh, we love Shazam.
Yeah, and then they're introducing Black Adam, so with The Rock. So pretty much whatever he touches is pretty much gold dust. So I'm sure that's going to be
touches. I'll watch.
Yeah, she is. You've heard of that? What is it? The one cheat in life.
Yes.
Or your hall pass.
Oh yeah.
The Rock is her hall pass. Okay,
okay.
So.
Yeah. Just waiting for that knock on the door. Yeah, right.
the knock on the door is going to be, Miss Halsey. Yes, here's your restraining order.
Well, when I'm like a multi-millionaire, famous with Netflix, and I'm on first name basis with Dwayne, I'll send him your way.
You are the best, Aaron. Steve might hate you. Or love you, depends on the situation.
I was thinking first name basis. Hi, Mr. The Rock.
Yeah, it might be a cardboard cutout, but it'll be on the doorstep.
Well, I got her one of those Funko Pops. I said, you always wanted The Rock in your house, so here you go.
Nice. I'll just get a rock and put it on the mantelpiece.
I'm surprised he didn't do it.
But no, Black Adam, I hope is good.
Well, to be honest, The Rock almost looks pretty much identical to him from the comics. It's kind of scary.
Well, it is. I just hope. All I ever care about is please just do the character justice. That's all I ask. Don't make it a whole new character, because the people going to see the movie. Well, everybody's going to go see it because it's The Rock, but then you got all us comic book nerds that are going to see it just because we want to see a character that we know and love on the big screen, Yeah. And I think that's why I liked Shazam, because they actually did it justice. A lot of people thought it was too cheesy, but it's like, no, you got an 11-year-old in an adult body that can do anything.
Yeah. It's pretty much like the DC, the animated ones, where he's, when he's introduced with Vic Storm, Victor Cyborg. He's a massive fan of him, and that's how he acts. Even as the big guy, he's still an 11-year-old, super fan of a football player, and that's why he kind of mucks up at the start when they're battling Apocalypse, the dark side for the first time. He doesn't follow orders, and he gets punched by Superwoman.
Well, and that's the thing, because a lot of people didn't realize he's an 11-year-old in the body. Only a few of the actual heroes knew, Because one of my favorite episodes, and I can't remember, I think it was from Superman the animated series, is when Superman actually fought Shazam, and Shazam was kicking his ass, just taking him to town.
Yeah.
Or was it Justice League, the animated series? One of the two. Because I rewatched those when DC Network had their DC Network streaming service and put all that stuff on. I streamed all that stuff again.
Yeah.
So, going that way, talking about what we're talking about, who's one of your favorite heroes?
What, DC or Marvel?
Either or.
Either or. To be fair, I always like the bad guys.
Hey, that's fine.
Yeah, I liked Apocalypse from X-Men. I always thought he was just misunderstood. He was in a time when he was on his own, almost like a god, and he woke up and the world's changed. He just had a midlife crisis. I love, obviously, Wolverine is one of my favorites. Loved Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Not so much the actual films themselves. Logan was brilliant.
Logan, oh my god.
But the rest of them didn't really like. Obviously, I've said Batman before, but that's kind of boring, and everyone says that. I don't know, really. I've not really thought about it, to be honest. Like I said, I like the bad guys. I like it when the bad guys win. That's why Return of the Empire Strikes Back is one of my favorites. Bad guys win.
What was I gonna say? Oh, going back to Logan, that is one of the best movies that could have just been a standalone movie in itself. You didn't even have to know it was related to any of the X-Men movies to be a great movie.
Yeah, the one thing I loved about it as well is the tie-in to, the Wolverine when he's in Japan, and that the woman who says, you die with your hand, in your heart, and he dies holding her hand. I think that was a good thing. That was very cool.
Well, I tell you, not a lot of movies bring a tear to my eyes, but me and my son were both crying at the end of that movie. That was a tearjerker. And I look over and my wife's crying too. It's like, okay, I don't feel so bad.
I would have loved
Logan
if they'd done Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Like, we'll do a Wolverine versus Hulk.
Oh, like the first introduction?
Well, I kind of want them to do both. I want them to do the first introduction, and then like the second part is like old Logan, where he meets an old Hulk. So like the world, and those two battle it out as like the last, remaining people on Earth, kind of thing. Kind of him fighting. Was it? I can't remember his name now. Mephisto, is it? Maestro.
Mephisto,
yeah, Maestro. Yeah. That would have been an epic film, I think.
Yeah, but see, now that Disney has the rights to it and Marvel does, you never know what you might see.
Yeah, I kind of feel sorry for whoever takes over from Wolverine, because everyone knows Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. He played it for like 15 years. I'm
gonna say 20 some years.
Yeah,
because
wow.
My daughter was a baby when X-Men first came out, because I remember dropping her off to my sister while me and my wife went and watched the movie. So yeah, it was like almost 20 years that he played.
Yeah. So whoever takes it on, I think they probably need someone unknown.
Well, just like he was. Yeah, remember he was unknown. Because everybody, if you remember back then, I don't know, you're younger than me, so you might not remember back then, but everybody was fighting who was going to be Wolverine. And then when it was him,
because he's so tall.
Oh yeah. But then you got to remember, he's from Broadway, so they got a singer and a dancer playing Wolverine. What the hell were they doing? And yeah.
But I have to admit, he put the muscles on for the films. They were He was ripped for that role.
CGI at its best. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I'll feel sorry for whoever kind of takes over the mantle and tries to fill his shoes, because it's not going to be an easy job to convince everyone, of a new Wolverine.
It's going to be the same thing with Professor X. Patrick Stewart is Professor X,
Yeah, I never really got into the first class, the new one, the newer ones they did, because Apocalypse was dreadful. My favorite bad guy, they just ruined totally. And then what was it? Phoenix they did again and screwed it up again.
I haven't even seen the Phoenix one. I have it. It was given to me, and I still never even watched it. I've just heard such a bad. It's one of those. Maybe I'll watch it if it's on TNT one time, and I have nothing else to watch.
Watching paint dry. There you go.
But see, it's like a lot of people said, I'm going to switch it over to DC. A lot of people said Suicide Squad was so bad. And then when I watched it, it's like, it's not as bad as everybody said it was.
It's okay. I just didn't like the storyline, to be honest. It was kind of okay. So it's similar to the Wonder Woman, the second film. I just couldn't understand how they thought that was going to be a good bad guy. I know, all this about humans and having wishes and stuff, but
but see, but in the comics, he's a great bad guy. They just changed him so much for the movie. I mean, and then at the end where you have 20 minutes of her trying to talk him down, it's like, oh my God, go break his neck like you did in the movie or in the comic. In the comic, she goes and kills him. That's how she could only stop him.
Wow, because I was looking forward to the cheetah fight. Even that was kind of bland and over way too quick. Because my daughter loves Marvel and everything like that, and even she's like, "Is that it?" There's nothing that kind of stands out. Like in the first film, when she runs across that battlefield, it sticks in the mind.
No Man's Land.
Yeah, it sticks in the mind. When she like jumps into that tank and the fight scenes and things like that, it sticks with you. Where that one kind of just washes by and you kind of forget about it.
I'm gonna throw Trish under the bus because she's everything Wonder Woman. She's in every Wonder Woman Facebook group, all these groups, and I'm gonna throw her under the bus. And she fell asleep during the movie. That tells you about the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, she was so.
Yeah, sorry. I think the actress, I really can't pronounce her name, and I'm not even going to pronounce her name.
Gal.
But she's brilliant. Yeah, she's awesome as Wonder Woman. So it's not her. The first film loved. I just think they kind of lost the plot in the second film.
Agreed. There was too much emotion.
Yeah, more action.
Yeah, but you got to remember, she is emotion. I mean, she is, even though she's from the island of the Amazons, there is emotion.
I get that, but there was too much.
Yes, there was too much. There was just too much talking. I'm sorry.
And then that whole thing of him being in somebody else, that was weird.
Yeah.
Where she was raping somebody?
Yes, that was just weird.
And then they meet at the end and just kind of nod. It's like, oh yeah, I know what you look like naked.
Yeah. Well, I'm sitting there. It's like, where is he going? Because they've been together for about a month, so he lost his job. He don't have a job anymore. I mean, he don't got a house. Where the hell is he going?
Yeah, he's just going to go on the, he's just going to walk a lonely road.
Just think, you don't know if that guy was married or had a family or what, and Steve Trevor just took over his body, you know?
He'd be good as a baddie in the next film. Like he goes on a spiral and gets, obsessed with her because she ruined her life, and he goes on revenge.
That would be good.
Okay.
He becomes a world-class assassin.
There you go.
Hey,
See?
Aaron thought of it first.
I'm copyrighting
Aaron
it.
thought of it. No, I mean, it's one of those, how much I up-talked the original Wonder Woman movie, because a lot of people still downplay, because, you got your Marvel side and you got your DC side, and there's us that stay in the middle. We're Switzerland. We stay neutral.
Yeah.
And after that first movie where the Marvel people, oh, that just sucked. It was just Captain America. It's like, it was nothing like Captain America. And then they come out with this.
I didn't really like I thought the first Captain America was kind of boring, to be honest. The Winter Soldier, brilliant. Loved it. Probably one of the best Marvel films, probably to date. I thought it was brilliant.
Well, see, in Civil War, I couldn't stand Civil War. No? But that goes back to me still, as much as I try to keep it away from the comic books, it's still, that was a major arc in the comic book history. And what they did to the movie just killed it.
I see. I'm like I said, I'm new to comics, so I'm going off the films, and a lot. I kind of read up because a lot of the websites I use for like new film news and things like that, what's coming out and rumors, a lot of those go into depth of what the comics say about certain films. So I do kind of dabble. Can I get a brief overview of what the comics would have been like? So I do kind of have an idea of what they would have done, but I say most of my kind of knowledge comes from the actual films. So I'm probably better off in that way.
Yeah, you are. I mean, what did you think of the Venom movie? Not knowing comic books, what did you think of the Venom movie?
Obviously the one with Tom Hardy, because the other one sucked ass.
Yeah,
with Spider-Man. But
no, the Tom Hardy.
I quite liked it. I'm a big Tom Hardy fan. So pretty much anything he touches is awesome. I really wanted him to do Taboo, which is the separate series. Pardon?
Except for Bane, he did not do good with Bane. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I didn't really like that film anyway, because you can't hear what he's saying. That Batman trilogy stops with The Dark Knight. The third film doesn't exist. Didn't like it. It was boring and long-winded.
Oh, I love the second one with the Joker.
Yeah. The Dark Knight. Yeah, it was brilliant. Heath Ledger was legend in that film. He definitely deserved that Oscar. Brilliant film.
Jennifer wrote, I think the reason Civil War didn't work so well was because the comics allow for enriching the personalities and relationships better, just like the books. Yeah, and I will agree with her on that, because what they threw together in a 2-hour movie was a whole year's worth of a storyline, And
well, that's the thing, though. The books are always going to be better. Like, I think the closest I've ever watched from a book was Lord of the Rings, and they left out a lot from the books. The books go inside people's minds and things like that. So the books are always going to be better.
Well, see, and that's like going back to Venom with Tom Hardy there. Actually, that's one of them. How everybody put it down. It's like, that was one movie I was actually able to keep as it's a separate entity from the comics. As a movie, it was a damn good movie. Now, if you want to go, because it didn't have Spider-Man in it, I don't care. Yes, there's how many times do we got to keep seeing that same version of it, of Venom being born. I like this version. This was a good movie. It's like, how many times do we got to know Batman's family died? Okay, let's get on.
Yeah, that's why I'm looking forward to this. Was it Morbius they've done as well? I'm looking forward to him, and I know they're doing a Venom 2, so they're going to introduce Carnage, which awesome.
Yes, especially if they keep Harrelson as him.
Yes,
because I could see him do
plan because he was the end of the scene in the film, so I presume he's signed on for the sequel. The better be, otherwise what's the point him in?
Well, and just as well as I do, they can change something like that.
Yeah.
So
unfortunately,
we got excited seeing Woody Harrelson, but by the time the movie comes out, it might be another 2 years, and Woody's signed on to do something else.
Yeah, I know, because I've been waiting for the sequel, like I said before, to Taboo, which Tom Hardy did, like a very dark series, and I've learned. My wife told me earlier that he's not doing it. It's like, what? He's just done one series. He can't leave me hanging. Damn it.
Jennifer says people put down Lord of the Rings too, but that's only because Tolkien was from a different time and he loved details. This generation wants action right away. They have no patience. No offense. Well, no, and I agree. But I think why we all love the books and everything, even with the comic books, is because we're putting the movie together in our head off of the author's words. So we see everything, and when I read a book, I might be seeing it completely different than what you're seeing it. It's how we're interpreting. Oh man,
interpreting
in our heads, but it's running a movie in our head, and we're the director. We call cut and rewind and all that.
Yeah, it was like Game of Thrones. You read the books before, even long before the series. You envisioned the characters as in your head. Yet now I reread it and I can't not see Ned Stark as Sean Bean. It's just because I've watched the series that many times. He is now Ned Stark.
and that's the whole thing. But a lot of people, like I said, I when it comes to the comic book movies, I'm really one that does, I try to separate, but I can't always get that separation in there.
Yeah.
When I sit, like with my wife, who never really reads comics, she loves the movie, and she's like, "Why are you making that face? You don't want me to ruin it for you. Just watch the movie." And then we'll talk about it later.
That's another reason why I like the graphic novels and comics of writing them, is because I am in control of what you see. So it is almost like it is very similar to writing a TV script. You're guiding the director. He may choose to do different things when he's shooting it, but the majority of what you write is what happens in the film, TV series, or whatever. So when I'm visualizing what happens in the panels, it's very similar to how I. It may be different for other people, but it's how I visualize and write the novels, write TV scripts. So it's very similar.
Now, I'm going to go back and we're going to change the topic all the way around. How did you get into writing scripts, TV scripts, and all that?
Going to the movies, and my friends got sick and tired of me slating the whatever film we were watching. And one of them basically turned around and said, "If you can do better, freaking write it." So I did. I started writing like little kind of films. I didn't know what I was doing. It took a lot of research of how the format of scripts are set out. So then I started writing films, TV series. I've written an Aliens TV series, which I'd really, really, really want to make into a graphic novel, but copywriting and all that, it's on my computer, so it's there, ready to go.
Hey, well, submit it over to Dark Horse and see if they'll take it.
Well, maybe, yeah, I'll probably do that. I'd probably have to get an artist to do the, 10 or so pages of it and submit it. I might do that. But I'm kind of concentrating on an Enra at the moment and other things. But I really want to get that mood. It will be the dream come true to write an Aliens series. I've already planned it out, 2 series, and there's Marines in it.
As long as you got the Marines.
Yeah, it's pretty much like a direct sequel to Aliens. So forget the rest. It doesn't involve Ripley, but it's kind of set in the same timeline.
Cool. Jennifer says, "Night, guys. It's been a pleasure." Night, Jennifer.
Good night.
We might be seeing you. You're at Super RetroCon this weekend, right? We might be showing up over there. That's on Sunday. Now, I was going to ask you, and when you said it, the title again, an Enra, does that have any special meaning? The title?
It does in Japanese. You can look it up in
Okay.
Google. It's I'll tell you. It means it means
penis. Okay.
That's later.
Okay.
It means smoke demon in Japanese, and it is a slight clue to the virus, but it's a very abstract clue. You won't get it.
Okay. And now I was gonna ask another question because we did sidetrack off, which is fine. That's what the whole show is. You watch the show. That's what we do.
Yep.
How did you meet up with your artist? Because I like his artwork.
Yeah, he is brilliant. Because like I said, it originally started out as a script for a TV series, and the agency I was with at the time introduced us to a few artists to begin with. There was 2, and we kind of went back and forth. It didn't really click because one wanted to make it into kind of an anime kind of vibe, which I kind of didn't want in this one. I have written anime, not comics, some of my other projects, but this one I kind of wanted a bit more realistic because of the horror. I want it kind of, I don't know, kind of more, like more realistic. And they introduced us to Ezekiel, and he gave us a few kind of brief sketches of what he kind of envisioned, and it's been brilliant. We kind of got in really well, really on sync. Very few panels he's submitted to me I go back on. The one that comes to mind is there's like 2 characters getting into one of the vans, and I mentioned the wrong side. In the UK on the opposite side. So all he did is just switch it around. Instead of redrawing it, it's like just switch the characters around like 180. So now the steering wheel's on the proper side.
That's cool.
Yeah,
well, I look at some of the stuff that you sent, like all night long. I've been looking at this one. It's been just the red. Everything else with the blacks and the gray, and that red just pops out.
Yeah.
It's been literally staring at me all night.
Yeah, that's what I love about it, because originally it started out as grayscale because I couldn't afford to do the full color, but every time he'd complete a page and start another one, he'd kind of go back and change it and work on another one, and then go back, and then I think he resubmitted the complete first issue, I think at least 3 times. because they kept going back and tinkering with different visuals, different like color sets, and when he figured out what he liked and what I liked as well, I think they just pops. And there's the scene with the girl with the pink backpack in the airport. You know what's going to happen. That's the one. You know what's going to happen to her. You know that flight is doomed. But I think everything else is kind of faded and grey. But that that backpack being pink, just kind of pulls you in.
Yeah. I still. Okay, Trish just put up your Kickstarter again for people who's coming in at this time. But I keep going back to even like this one, just a detail in that. If you look at the walls and the details that he did in the walls of the plane right there, I mean, he didn't have to go through all that detail, but he did. And well, he might have had to, but I mean, if you sit,
he did it himself. That's all him. I'm blown away by what he can do, and that's why I cannot wait to bring more to life, both with this graphic novel and the samurai one. I'm putting the finishing touches to. I think he's got amazing talent. I cannot praise him enough. So if there's any creators out there watching this, by all means, get in touch with me, or find him on Facebook. He's always open to commissions. He's brilliant.
I'm because we see comic book creators and artists on a weekly basis, and I'm gonna have to say, and no offense, guys that come on the show and have been on the show, I love it. Now I do have to ask, because I can't blow this one up. What am I seeing in the eye? I know there's a picture in the eye.
That's his reflection. He basically, you're looking at yourself in a mirror.
Okay, so that's the doctor?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted
it's a doctor. It's not Richard. It's another. Okay. It's basically passenger X. He's the carrier.
Okay. So I just wanted to. I was like, I can see it, but I can't blow it up, and I can't. It bugs me when people put stuff like hidden in there, and it's like, I know there's something there, but it's not blowing up enough because if you try to blow something up, then you really distort it, and it's like go and back down, and like, I'm blind.
That's Ezekiel. I just asked for an eye with the the blackness coming out of it. He's the one who put the reflection in the eye. That's how detailed he goes, and like way above and beyond what I ask, and it looks fantastic. I think that's definitely my favorite cover of the two issues, purely from that. The reflection in the eye is brilliant.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do, just to show him off some more, I'm gonna do page 1 and 2 here that you sent me, just that cityscape right there.
Yeah, good old London.
But if you sit there and look, you can see the details and every little, even on the building way back there, I see like the little windows and everything. It's like
very cool.
Yeah. He does. Next time you talk to him, tell him he gets our seal of approval. He is great.
Not like it means much, but hey.
Yeah, it's not like it means much, but we know people, and we want to know him. Okay, so we've hit the 10 o'clock, and I know we're kind of past your bedtime usually.
Usually. I'm usually the fairies by now.
Is there anything you want to tell everybody? I don't know. Have you ever got to see the end of the show?
I haven't. No, I'm usually.
Okay.
I'm usually.
Okay.
Oh, that's okay. That's why I had a coffee before it started.
We're the lullaby to a lot of people.
Oh yeah. Speaking of which, Daryl ain't in bed watching us.
I know, right?
I'm offended, but okay. So usually at the end, I give you a few minutes just to shout out anything you want to shout out. Tell people where they can see you, meet you, give you COVID and rabies and cooties and all that.
Please do. Please do. Well, you can find me on Facebook. Just type in my last name. I'm pretty much, I'm not very hard to not find. Please check out my Kickstarter. Like I said, I'm really excited to bring this, the next issues to everybody and show what Ezekiel can do with
now
what's to come.
When does this Kickstarter end? We've been talking about the Kickstarter, and I never even asked that.
Got 15 days left. 26th of March it finishes.
Okay. So I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go back to talking about how they can back you and support your future. Or your wife's going to kick you out if you don't get it back. Then
that step closer to that Netflix deal. Get the 20,000 fans on Kickstarter. Netflix will sign me up, and away I go. Well, seriously, I'm really excited to bring this, this graphic novel to life with Ezekiel. We're very proud of what we've done so far, and I really cannot wait to bring more to the readers and the fans. And I'm very humble in how many return fans have come back to back from the first Kickstarter. I've already over doubled the backers I had from the first one. So it's been brilliant, and fingers crossed these next two issues are funded.
And you're gonna let me know when you have your books published, so I can get your books, right?
Well, I can send you if you want.
Oh, well, you tell me how I can get hold of it.
Well, I'll just send you as a PDF. I'll just send you as a PDF. It's not published. Just off my laptop. You can have the first novel.
Oh, we'll see.
Ooh. You are somebody.
I am somebody. Well, that's really going to hurt when I fall asleep.
Maybe I'll just send you the
I'm going to have my laptop. I'll have my laptop sitting up here reading it and fall asleep. And
it'll wake you up, and then you can start reading it again.
See, there you go. My kind of person.
I'll just send you the first three chapters to get you hooked, and then you'll have to wait 5 years for the next one.
Hey, I already have. There's a certain person with a comic book that I've been waiting on the next chapter. Not you, but another one of our friends. I've been waiting on the next chapter for like 2 years now, and it's like I keep getting promised. Cool.
Oh,
I've been. It's coming. Yeah, I'm 2 years now. I got to read everything over again to remember where I left off.
Yeah. Not gonna name him, but I named him.
I didn't name it. I just said cool. Okay. Anything else you want to tell everybody?
I think that's it, really. I'm on Twitter, Aaron _WROB. So please follow me on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. Check me out, and please follow Ezekiel as well. He's amazing. If you like I said, any creators out there who want some a great artist, he is your man. He's brilliant.
Well, and we will pass his name out also, and we'll pass out your name for people when they say they need some info. Now, you willing, like if I send somebody to you, and in that little like 30 seconds of free time you have, you can say, hey, I suggest if you want to start getting into this, you can like give somebody suggestions on how to like get started in doing something.
What, in like comics, kind of?
Yeah, kind of like what you're doing.
Research. First off, is to write the script. Like the first mistake I made was, the first issue was off a different kind of format, so it took a long time to get, it made. So research the format for a comic script. Read comic scripts, read comics as well. Gives you ideas. I think the main thing is community. There's so many amazing people out there. Get in touch with them. Go on to these kind of shows. Watch them. That's probably the best way because people have a massive amount of advice. I've had, even with this Kickstarter, Luke Stone. I'm not sure you probably know him.
We had him on the show a couple of weeks ago.
He I asked him if he could, because I watched him on another one, and he gave us massive amounts of advice on my Kickstarter to the point where the initial video I had, he said I had it backwards. With the introduction I had at the start, he said either take it out completely or move it to the back. People want to see the art. They want to see the storyline straight away, like within the first probably 15-20 seconds. So I think now it flows a lot better with that video, and the advice he gave me was immense. So you're always learning, especially me. I'm quite new to this genre and graphic novels, so I'm always seeking advice, always wanting to learn. And so far, everyone's been brilliant. The community has been crazy, but my kind of crazy.
And the community, as long as you don't do anything to piss anybody off, the community is a helpful community. I will say that they're loving. It's a huge family, dysfunctional at times, but
at all times.
And every single one of them is willing to take time to help somebody if they have a question. That is the one thing with the community. Nobody's out for just themselves. Unless, like I said, you piss somebody off. If you blatantly steal from somebody, then you're kind of blackballed.
That was your own fault.
That's a big no-no. And and also with speaking to people as well, you get contacts. You find artists to do pages of your novel, and that's how you start progression. As soon as you get those 8 to 10 pages completed, then you can start sending it out to publishers. You can even do a little Kickstarter to try and get more pages done. So it's always like a rolling effect. So as soon as you get one bit done, you go into the next stage, and then the next stage, and then before you know it, you've got a graphic novel, on its way, complete, or and you get your fan base. As soon as they're happy, wanting to read your stuff, liking what you read, then they're more than willing to back you and help you succeed.
Cool. Okay, so one last question before we call it a night. Well, I still got to do my exit, but you said you've been backing Kickstarters lately. What Kickstarter besides your own can you shout out right now as one of your top Kickstarters you're backing?
Duplicate was a big one. I loved. There was one which a lot of them are actually finished, annoyingly. So I can't shout out to be here. So Duplicate was one. I loved that one. That was really cool. What was the other ones? Hold on, I'll have to freaking look.
Put him on the spot.
You have, asshole.
Thank you.
That is your nickname. Good job.
Oh wait, I can't do it on my computer. It's broken at the moment. Oh well. Yeah, because the one I actually really liked was the One Last Job. It was like a kind of James Bond themed kind of thriller. I quite liked that one. But I think that's ended as well because I just had the email saying you have your money has been wired. It's like, oh, my money's gone. Like I said, a lot of them have actually just recently ended, so I'm on the lookout for more Kickstarters to have a look at and get my teeth into. So I'm really looking forward to getting that in my inbox when it's finished. Because unfortunately, a lot of the films have been pushed back. So I was hoping to watch Bond this year, but I think that's been pushed back to next year now.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. But you'll get Dune here in a couple months, right? In June?
Yes. So looking forward to that. If I finish the book first, I don't think I will. It's too big.
Just watch the first 2 movies, and then you'll know what the third movie's about.
Yeah. Well, I'm really looking forward to this new one. I loved his Blade Runner, the new one. The 21 something. I thought it was a really good film.
Yeah. Okay, it's 10:18, so I'm going to do my exit out now. Come join us next week at 8 Eastern with Roland Mann. And hold on, he actually sent me who he was going to have this week, which is weird because he doesn't usually do that. He never lets me know until like the night before. And of course it's not up so I can read it. Okay, so it's going to be Roland Mann in the Silver Line Spotlight next week. As you know, Aaron, it is because you do watch this show. Since they are a big sponsor of us, they get a week or a monthly spot on our show. Okay. Pretty much to talk about their new Kickstarter. Wink, wink.
Aren't we all?
So that'll be next Thursday at 8 Eastern. Let's see, what else do we got? This weekend here in Florida, you got Collective Con. I think it's going, is it Saturday and Sunday or is it 3 days? It used to be 3 days. I think they dropped it down to 2 days this year. Trish going to check. But while she's checking.
12th through the 14th.
So it's 3 days. Tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday up in Jacksonville, you got Collective Con going on. See some of our friends up there in Kissimmee on Sunday at the Osceola Heritage Park. You got Super RetroCon. It's going to be a huge event going on. Early bird tickets are $15. Regular tickets after I think noon is $10. So go check them out if you don't want to go up to Jacksonville. Other than that, make sure you keep your calendars empty for March 28th at the Central Florida Fairgrounds, and you can go to Ola and a lot of other cool people. We're going to have the awesomest show of the year here in Orlando because we got all the best vendors, all the best artists, and they're all coming together for us. Does that all sound good to you? Did it sound believable? Okay. So hang out after the outro and we'll talk a couple minutes before you run off to bed because you got an early drive. I know you. Yeah. So other than that, let me find the outro music. And until next week, guys, see ya. Aaron, it was a pleasure having you on.
Bye.